Hello and welcome to Really Robin Stamps. My name is Robin Armbrecht and I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. And today's video is going to be all about the new 2025-2026 annual catalog that was released in May of 2025. And so we are going to kind of take a comprehensive look at what is inside the catalog, what is new, and how you can turn the catalog into a resource that's going to help you when you sit down and you get ready to make some cards or scrapbook pages or home decor items. And so I have marked up my catalog in ways that make it more user-friendly for me, and I'm going to share those with you today. So let's get started. First thing I recommend is that you grab your favorite permanent markers. I used actually two different sizes as I was writing through. Sometimes I wanted to write a little bit bigger, and then sometimes I wanted to just add details, and so I have both of those. And then grab some highlighters to help make some sections stand out and be a better reference for you. And then you can see I labeled my catalog with some tabs, and there's all kinds out there. I love these Ride-On tabs here. These are Post-it brand. They just pull off and then you can stick them. You can actually, if you carefully remove them, I've used them year to year for my catalogs as I'm marking the different sections. So let's see. Let's get right to it. We're going to open up to, get it straight here. This is the very beginning. This is pages 2 and 3 of the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And you will probably only need to look at the table of contents a couple of times to help you familiarize yourself with what is inside the catalog, but there are a few things that are helpful to note. So first of all, one of the things that's important to remember when you're looking through the catalog is that the stamp set pictures are shown smaller than what they actually are. So sometimes you will see the images smaller than what they actually stamp. And so the reference here is this picture of the stamp set so that you can kind of solidify in your mind how big your images are going to be. For example, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this page here is talking about stamp sets and dies that have been out before, and they are not new to this catalog. They're kind of carrying over. They're returning favorites. So you can see the picture of the stamp set is very small, and so you kind of have to put that into perspective and how much bigger the stamp set actually is. So this is a 5x7 DVD case. I think it's 5x7. Yeah, 7 1/4 DVD case. Okay, back to the table of contents. The other thing is that here are the icons that you can look for throughout the book. The most important one is really this pink N, which notes that that is a brand new item. And so that is helpful, especially if you have had several catalogs in the past to help direct you to things that are brand new. Some things are you can order in English or Spanish or French. And so if you see those, that's what that is telling you, what language you can get that stamp set in. There's also QR codes throughout the book. And so if you use your phone and your camera, this will take you to either a video or to the online store so that you can see more or get more details about something. And then the little shopping bag means that you can find this item in the online store, or they might be talking about or using an item that isn't actually in the book, but it is in the online store. Because this isn't everything that Stampin' Up! Carries. We have a lot of online exclusive products that are only in the online store. And so you have to kind of look both places. But the reason that having the actual physical catalog is so lovely is because you can put it right next to you while you're crafting and use it as an inspiration source while you're working. Okay, so things to note in the table of contents that are kind of new and cool. I highlighted the card and tag templates and the scrapbook templates. I think those are going to be really helpful for us as we're putting our projects together throughout the year. The index is in the very end. This is a really useful place. We're going to go there next. And then this is telling you basically the 3 sections of how the flow of the catalog goes. We start with step-by-step crafting. Then we go to quick and easy crafting, and then the main section of the catalog, the majority of it is just creativity your way. So let's go ahead and flip to pages 142 and 143, and that is way at the end. It's just one page from the back. And so this is going to be helpful for you. I encourage you to use your highlighters, and if there are things that you order over and over again, or things that maybe you want to put on your wish list, you can note on here, maybe with some kind of, you can put a heart by something if you already have that. Let's see, here's the dies, here's the stamp sets. You could highlight it if you already have it, and that way you can kind of use this as a quick way to look at your inventory. I highlighted things that I order a lot, and like envelopes is what I highlighted, and the Wink of Stella, to make that easier for me to find those items instead of kind of searching through the whole catalog. But this is alphabetical, and so it starts with adhesives and it ends with tools. And so you can look in those sections and you can find everything that you need. I have a downloadable PDF that you can download and print on my website, and it goes along with the catalog, and it has 2 pieces on it. One is just a way for you to jump in and label the tabs on your catalog. There's nothing amazing about my tabs, but this is how I like to have mine divided up into sections that I can find much easier than just flipping through. And so I like to tab these things. You may not need as many, you may need more, but it's easy to get started if you want to just use my reference here. So you will say, here's tools. You want to mark where tools are. And I've referenced page 103 is where you put the tab for tools. So this is just a way to help you label your catalog. This box you can actually cut out and you can stick it somewhere. I think this is a great page right here on the back. You can stick it on this pretty flowered page because it will tell you like things that maybe you order very often. So I just put all of the basic cardstocks here, basic white, very vanilla, the thick basic white, basic black, watercolor paper, the different envelopes that we have, cutting blades, we have to reorder those frequently, the Wink of Stella, and then the refills for the Memento Black and the Versamark. So it has the item number there, and you can just take that in there if that's helpful for you. Of course, all of those things are easily searchable in the online store when you're putting in your order, but a lot of us are used to ordering in a different way, and we like to have those numbers ahead of time before we start our online order. And so if you're like me, you might find that useful. All right, so now we looked at the index. Let's go back to page 5. And I really liked these pages. I like that Stampin' Up! Is showing us all the things that they do. They're Making a Difference days, and their Heart of Stampin' Up! They have a program where people can apply to do different projects. Really cool. There's stories about all of these things online if you'd like to know more about what Stampin' Up! Does behind the scenes. But then this was what I wanted to draw your attention to here. It's talking about gathering. And I think that because we are all online so much now, the excitement about getting together in person has seemed like questionable. Like, do I still like getting together with people and stamping? And yet the answer is yes. It's always a good time. And even if you don't have friends that you think are crafty, I think Stampin' Up's approach to the new kits that they offer makes it really easy for beginners to get together and do something fun while you get to visit and have good snacks. And so I actually used my highlighters because I thought this page was just a little too black and white, and I colored in the little kit and the projects that they're working on and the paper and the ink pads. And so really it's very easy, and I can help you with this too. If you want to have a party at your house, we can plan it. You can invite people over. We can use kits, and you can do that. I can help facilitate that, even though I might not be near to you physically. So let's remember that gathering is still important. And then I really loved this next page too, because it really kind of takes you through the process of thinking about, why do I craft? Okay, it says reasons to craft. Use this list as a reminder of why we craft, the people, because that's really the heart of it. Is we do this for other people for the most part, and the added benefit is that crafting is such a great thing for our brains. So that's why it's a great hobby that people enjoy so much. And so there's some ideas from Stampin' Up, and then there's blanks for you to fill in for why do you craft. And so I sat and thought about it for a little bit, so I'll share my whys. But for me, paper crafting is a complete and total escape. Making things with my hands, making things with paper, the textures, the colors, it is like magic for my brain. It's also very life affirming. It feeds my soul. Making things for other people calms my brain, but it also excites my brain at the same time. So that's like such a great thing to put into your weekly activities, right? Or your daily activities. For me, being a demonstrator, my reason to craft because it allows me to teach and to fill a passion that I've had my entire life. And the thing that is best that I save for last is that it magically brings the loveliest people to me, especially now that I'm online and I have met all of you who I get to interact with now in such a great way. Even if we don't meet face to face, it still brought me such amazing friendships and so much value. So those are my reasons, but I encourage you to take a minute and just think about, what do you like about it? Do you like it because it's a hobby you can do with other people and it brings you together with other people? Do you like it because it gives you an escape and you get to be by yourself? And maybe you need that, or maybe it does both of those things for you, but it doesn't matter what your why is as long as you have the why. All right, so there's a brand new, on the very next page, page 8, there's a page about the rewards program. So this is brand new, just started a couple months ago. And so Stampin' Up! Is giving us a new rewards program where we earn 10% back on our entire order at over $20. So the $20 is the lowest threshold. You get 10% back in dollars, reward dollars, that you can use on a future order. And so you can redeem those rewards anytime. So it's really simple. There's 1, 2, 3. You create an account online, and I can help you with that if you don't have one. You shop, you earn your rewards. Stampin' Up! Keeps track of them for you in your account, and then you can use them anytime up to a year. So the rewards expire 12 months from when you purchase at the end of the month. So today, let's just say, is actually June 1st. So let's say I placed $200, a $200 order. I would earn $20 as my rewards, and then I could wait until the June 30th, because it's a year at the end of the month from when you purchase, to use that $20. And the thing is, you'll order more than once throughout the year. Those rewards accumulate into one big amount, so you can save up for something big, or you can use a little at a time. But Stampin' Up! Will automatically tell you if their rewards expiring and how many, so that you will always know, oh, I've got $20 in rewards that expire June 30th. I have to use those, before they expire. So definitely get an online account and opt into the rewards program. Super easy, brand new. I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. I personally, as a business owner, I also reward people who order with me faithfully. And so I usually have a threshold of $50, but it changes from month to month. It usually is one thing that I offer for the month. And then when the month is over, I send you that thing. Most of the time it's card kits, so that you can put together some cards with maybe some products that you don't have. But it's not always. It's different. I like to just kind of keep it exciting and fresh for myself. And so that's my rewards program on top of Stampin' Up's reward program. So let's see. Okay, so now we've talked about that. What's our why rewards program? And so we're ready to dive into the catalog. And just to remind you, the flow of the catalog, we've got step-by-step crafting, quick and easy, and then creativity your way. That's the flow. And so it does kind of start with items that are kits and things that might be good for beginners. If a first timer picks up a catalog, if you dove right into some of the things that you can make from in the back of the catalog, it might be a little overwhelming. And so the kits are kind of focused in the front. And then there's also more scrapbooking things in the front, and they're given a little bit larger footprint in this catalog because they are brand new. So we have not carried scrapbooking products like this for several years, and so this is a new product line, and so it's given a little bit bigger footprint in this catalog. But really we're looking for, like, if you kind of think through this, a beginner stamper is going to find more comfort in the front of the catalog, where things seem a little more simple and how to. And then if you're an avid crafter, you've been using Stampin' Up! Products for years, you're going to kind of see more of the meat at the end of the catalog, if that makes sense. Okay, so like I said, the first thing is the kits, and we're highlighting the kits collection. Now they do show 2 kits, and they have the item codes for these kits. So these kits are going to be around for at least a year. I actually have both of those kits, and I think they're amazing. But all the rest of the kits are online. The kits collection is exclusively online. Because they change all the time. Stampin' Up! Adds at least 2 kits to this collection every month. And so they're constantly bringing more kits out. So that's at least 24 new kits a year. Right now, I think I just checked and I counted, there are 32 kits right now available, including these 2. In the online store. So this one is called Heirloom Arrangements. And if you love ephemera and layering and focal point clusters like I do, this is going to be really great for you. Now these I've put together, and I did make a couple extras with this kit, but it comes with this beautiful ephemera that is very floral and butterflies and leaves. And so I think the kit makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I made actually nine cards out of this. Well, maybe I already mailed one because I think maybe I actually made 10. It doesn't really matter. It's got step-by-step directions so that you can make, this exact card, and it's really, really a fun kit. Comes with a block, a stamp set, and the only thing I added extra was the embellishments and the linen paper, and then it has this beautiful, fun envelopes. Highly recommend that. Even a brand new stamper can put those together because they're step-by-step directions. Let me show you. So this is the other one that's called Beautiful Blues that I have not put together yet. It just came into my to my house. And so this one makes 9 cards, 3 of each. Beautiful, gorgeous indigo color. You get a stamp set, an ink spot in Night of Navy, and then you get your adhesive, a block. Okay, so this is a great gift too. These all-inclusive kits are for somebody who doesn't have anything. The only thing that you might need would be scissors. So this is a great gift to give somebody too. So I'm really excited to put that one together. So great. So don't forget about the kits. Even if you make all your stuff from scratch, sometimes it's really nice to take a kit if you're going on a trip and you just want to have a little craft time and you don't have to bring your whole craft room. And I think that is the draw of having the kits collection, because there are people who don't want to have a craft room. I mean, I can't believe them, and I'm not sure we could be close friends, but it's true. Not everybody wants to collect crafting supplies, but they still love to craft and they still see the value of it. So, there's 2 more kits in here with numbers. And this is birthday gift cards and boxes, and then this are fun little pop-up animal cards. Okay, so the first section here after the kits, and remember this is kind of like step-by-step type, crafting, where you get everything that you need kind of in one all-inclusive box or kit. We are getting the new scrapbook workshop kits, and we have 4 of them that are in this catalog. So this Stampin' Up! Started offering scrapbook workshop kits in September of 2024, and so I think they've offered around 8 or so during the last year, and this is the first time they've been in the catalog. So there's 4 in the catalog, but there's 6 more kits that are available right now in the online store, and there will be more released throughout the year with seasonal type things. And so what is a workshop kit? A scrapbooking workshop kit. This is something that is great for beginner scrapbookers, but it's also really nice for somebody who's been scrapbooking a long time. It is a kit that makes 6 pages, so 3 layouts, 12 by 12, and it has all of the pieces that you need to do everything. And so you get die cuts, you get sticker sheet, you get the designer series paper, you get the cardstock, and then you get some 2-tone cardstock to do it. So let me just show you this particular kit. Called Memories in Bloom. But this is the greatest thing about the kits, is that there are step-by-step directions. So it tells you the layouts, and then it tells you to gather your photos. And so to make their layouts this exactly as planned, you need 15 pictures, and then it tells you the sizes of the pictures. And so you kind of know what to look for when you are looking for your pictures. And then it takes you step by step through how to cut up all the designer series paper or two-tone cardstock. And everything's labeled with sizes and numbers. And it also tells you whether you're going to be using the front or the back pattern on the papers. And so you can start cutting everything, putting it into piles based on what it goes with, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2 references layout 2, 3 references layout 3. This is done so well. And so you get all your paper cut, okay, and then you're ready to do the pages. And so it tells you to adhere your photos on these pieces, and then it gives you step-by-step directions of what you're supposed to do to put those together. Let me show you. Okay, so in this particular kit, you get these pieces of double-sided designer series paper. Let's see, these are double-sided, okay? And then you get some that are just one-sided, and like this one's not available anywhere else. And then you get two-toned cardstock in these colors. And then you get some willow white cardstock for card bases, or for whatever it tells you to do. Here's your sticker sheet. And then here's your ephemera sheet. These are just little die cuts that you will attach. Okay, so all of that comes in your kit. And then there's also placeholders for your photos. And so you can stick these onto your page until, let's say you want to make them, but you don't have your pictures yet. You can kind of use them for placement and putting in your photos. So you get a lot in these kits. Best part is definitely all the step-by-step directions. So you don't just have the pictures, you have all of it. Okay, so I made some notes on this page that you might find helpful. So just remember, you can stop this video at any time and just take the time to write down what I'm telling you. So not only is this a workshop kit, okay, but this product line also coordinates with a suite of products. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that. And then there's also additional scrapbooking kind of separate elements that also coordinate with this whole product design suite. Okay, and so I wanted to cross-reference these pages. And so this is where this is only talking about the workshop kit that I just showed you. But if you want to see some of these things separately, now not everything you can get separately, but a few things you can get separately, that's on page 67. So I made a note. If you want to see the kits parts separately, 67. If you just want the designer series paper, it's on page 43 and it's on page 117. Okay, so that's kind of helpful. If you add those to this page, it won't be as confusing. I hope. So let's just walk through this one first. So let's go to 67. So here you can get the designer series paper pack. Okay, and that has 12 designs, 2 of each double-sided piece. Okay, so here's the front and the back. Okay, and you see some of those are in the workshop kit, but there's like differences, right? Okay, so you can get this with just that sticker sheet. So let's say you're like, I don't need that whole kit. I kind of know what I'm doing, or I just want a little bit. I want to play with the stickers and the designer series paper. You can get this together. And it is $17. That's what's on this page 67. If you just want the designer series paper, that's going to be on page 117, where the designer series papers are. Okay, so I put here, see the suite on page 42 and 43, so that will show you the suite. And here I just cross-referenced. If you want just the designer series paper, here's the number 165175, and you can find it on page 43 and 117. Okay, if you want to go back to the workshop kit, that's on page 15. If you want to see the suite, that's on page 42 and 43. So what is also really nice about these workshop kits is that you can get, for the most part, for all of them, a assorted pack of two-tone cardstock that you can get to go along with it. And so this is the only place where you can get the assorted two-tone cardstock. And you get 2 pages of each, and for $12. And so that's really helpful to know. And then there's always an extra stamp set that is really designed to have a little bit bigger greetings and backgrounds and tabs and labels, that is really more designed for scrapbooking. But clearly you can use it to make cards as well. So that's why it's in this kind of scrapbooking from scratch section. I hope that makes sense. I was a little like, okay, why am I seeing this here, 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 here? But once I added the page numbers, then it really made it clear to me. Okay, so we are looking at the workshop kit for Memories in Bloom. But just to review, you can also get a whole suite that's designed specifically for card making, okay? But obviously they overlap, or you can get some pieces of the kit separately that you can use however you want, whether you want it to use for scrapbooking or card making. Okay, so there are 4 workshop kits, as I said. One is the new Turtley Sweet collection, 2 different spellings of sweet. So if you want to see the kit elements separately, that's page 69. If you just want to look at the designer series paper, that's page 49 and 118. And then I also put the number for the designer series paper here, 165221. So that, let's just say you flip through this page and go, oh yeah, I wanted that paper, but I just want the designer series paper. You could look there. And so again, let me show you. If we wanted to look at some of these elements separately, we would go here. So here you can get the designer series paper with the sticker sheet, or you can get that assorted pack of two-tone cardstock. And then this extra stamp set that leans towards scrapbooking, but can also be for cards. Okay, this is called Weekend Adventures Scrapbook Kit, and it's great for all kinds of occasions, and really has a little bit of a outdoorsy theme, but in a very sweet way. And so this one is only a workshop kit. It's not a suite of products. And so if you want to see the kit elements, it's on page 73. And so there's the designer series paper with the sticker sheet, and then the two-toned cardstock, and then this extra stamp set. This one is so cute. I've seen really cute cards with this little cup here, and then the flowers. It's really cute. So this is the only workshop kit here where you cannot get just the designer series paper. You have to get the designer series paper and the sticker sheet. But I don't think you'll be disappointed with the sticker sheet. There's a lot of really cute things there. And then the last workshop kit designed for scrapbooking is the Celebrate Together workshop kit, and it has the same kinds of elements in it. Now the rest of this suite is online. Okay, so I added a big tab here, and I'll just hold that up so you can see it. I just went online. And I wrote down the numbers for all the rest of the things that are in the suite, because this is a suite that's only offered online currently, but the workshop kit is in the catalog. So you can just get the designer series paper. You can get just a bundle of stamps. You can get the two-tone cardstock, assorted two-tone cardstock, and you can get, there's an embossing folder, ribbon, some embellishments, but all the rest of that is online. Okay, the only other thing you're going to find, nope, and none of the rest of it's in the catalog. Sorry, it's all online. Let's see, I do have one page that I started. This was a technique that I did in one of my play dates, and I cut out one of the little design elements, some things from the paper, and used my little photo things. So this was kind of a scrapbook page from scratch. Okay, so we made it through workshop kits, and then we come to this fun page called Join the Challenge. And this is also something new. Live on Wednesdays, 2 p.m. on Instagram and Facebook, and then they post it on YouTube later. But as some of the people at Stampin' Up, they're going to offer a creative challenge to you. So this is showing the Stampin' Up's Instagram here. So it's kind of fun. You can get a lot of ideas, but they also left blanks here for you to kind of write down things that maybe you want to try, or things you have tried and you want to remember. And so here's about color theory. And so let's say you try some of the things that are on with the color coach. Okay, let's say you try a combination, you really like it. You can jot down the names of those colors on here. The challenge is different every month that they're going to offer a little creative challenge. So like for example here, it says grab 2 stamp sets and designer series paper that you wouldn't think of putting together and challenge yourself to use them on the same project. And so that's always great to give yourself some parameters to work with. And then here are test a template sections. I covered mine with Post-its because I just wanted to show you that these size of Post-its actually work really well for making tiny little templates. Okay, so there's like a card size template and then a scrapbook 12 by 12 or a square card type template. And so you can just draw on here something that you want to try, some kind of layout. And then let's say you have more ideas, you can just get some of those, some little Post-it notes, and you can add them somewhere for your little inspiration and keep that going. Okay, let's see. So let's go to two-toned cardstock. This is on page 77 because I was talking a lot about that. And let's talk about it a little bit more. And so this is brand new to this particular catalog where Stampin' Up! Is offering two-tone 12 by 12 cardstock in every single color that they have, which is super exciting. And so two-tone cardstock is interesting because it has a lighter value of the color that matches the cardstock on the back side. And so the front of the paper matches the tone of the regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock. but it's thinner and it has a white core. And so it functions a little bit differently than regular cardstock, but it's great in so many ways for card making and for scrapbooking. And so I've been incorporating ways to use this into my card making because it's nice and thin. And so sometimes when you are making a card with a lot of layers or folds where it ends up being very bulky, using that two-tone cardstock can really help. And so you can get a full package of a color. Let's say you want pretty in pink. You can get 12 sheets for $10. So I just did a little math down here, and you can put this in your catalog too to help you remember. So if 12 sheets is $10, that means it's 83 cents a sheet. If you are making a card base out of this, like let's say you cut it twice and you cut 5.5 by 12, so you'll have like an inch strip left over. You can get 2 card bases from one piece of 12 by 12. Each card base would cost you 42 cents. Or let's say you cut it at 4 inches by 12 inches and you do some fun kind of trifle thing. You can get 3 card bases for 28 cents. Okay, so if you just kind of think about the value of the two-tone cardstock and pairing it with your regular cardstock, you can kind of help, I think, keep your cost per card down. Now there is also white, willow white. This is not two-toned and it's a little bit thicker. It can be used for making card bases as well. But it is an item that came over from close to my heart, so that's why it's called white willow. Your basic white 8.5 by 11 cardstock is still the best surface to stamp on because it's such smooth cardstock. But of course you can stamp on this, but if you want that nice crisp image, you want to use your basic white. This is great for making scrapbook pages and for making card bases in these sizes. All right, two-tone cardstock, something new. Okay, let's go back and we'll finish out this. We're still kind of in the section that is talking about quick and easy, okay? So we just did those workshop kits, and now we're going to talk about ephemera and pre-made cards. Now this is still a quick and easy way to stamp. So I love pre-made cards. Makes life really easy sometimes, and it's just fun. So you can get a pack that has Real Red and Misty Moonlight. These cards are a little bit bigger than our invitation size. They're 4 1/4 by 5.5. Or no, I'm sorry, 6 1/4. So it fits a 4 by 6 on there perfectly. And then same with this embossed designs, mix and match. You've got these beautiful textured stripes on there. Makes a great elegant card. It's actually, so this one looks like it is embossed, but this one actually is embossed. So this is a pack you can get, or you can get the white. Actually, this says there's 5 each of 2 designs. I think I only pulled out one design. Let me see what the other design is. Oh, sure enough, here's the other design. It's dots. Clearly, I haven't been able to use these yet. So these are raised embossed dots. Very cute. And the ephemera is such a popular item, so there is new packs of ephemera. The exciting thing is that these packs here, one's called Good Times, one's called Time for Celebration. So Time for Celebration has kind of seasonal and like holidays. You can see there's like some maybe masculine things for Father's Day, Christmas, pumpkins, St. Patrick's Day, winter. So this is kind of seasonal. And then the Good Times just has some really little happy, bright images. And these are self-adhesive, okay? So that's the new thing about these. These are only $7 a pack, and you get 2 of each sheet. And then there's a new tag set, and you get 3 sheets of each of these tags. You've got lots of great sizes here. And then there is a sheet of greetings called Mix and Match. Also 6 sheets, 2 of each, that you get for $7. So this is a real fun way to sit down and just play with ephemera for card making, scrapbooking, whatever you want. So I thought it would be fun to use one of the templates. So Stampin' Up's put together these templates for either the cards or the tags. And so I thought it would be fun to do, which one was I going to do? I think I was going to do a big tag. Can't remember what I planned. This one. So this is just showing, I'm having a hard time getting that up to the camera, sorry. This one, we're going to do that one. It's just giving you like little bubbles. Look, where can you put some of that ephemera? So if we take this, I'm going to grab something that's larger for that bigger circle and put it over here. And then this is showing like a greeting. And so let's pick happy birthday. And then it's showing just kind of like some accents here and then some tiny little accents in the corners. Let me show that again. I'm going to show it to you right like that, right here. Okay, so you just got to use that as guides to find some things. So we'll use some of these pops of yellow. We'll put this one like that. Let's see, maybe we'll put it down there. And then we'll put there's also these little daisies. We'll do just do a couple of those. I don't want to put that bee on there, but I think it's too big in size compared to the flower base. Okay, so that looks, there's smaller, of course there's a smaller heart. So maybe we'll do all of that. Maybe we'll just stick this on our card. Take the adhesive off of here. Now let's say you didn't want to stick it down, you wanted to raise it up, you would just keep the adhesive on the back, and then you can sometimes it's just great to have a template to dive into when you feel like you don't know what to do. So let's just have a little recipe to follow. Or let's say you like ephemera, but you're always like, how many pieces should I use and how should I put them together? That's where these templates can really come in handy. I think the pieces are just easy enough to use that, of course, you don't need a template, but Okay, I'm gonna put one more little flower up here. Okay, I'm gonna lightly put that down so that I can put a little bit of ribbon. Have to do just a little bit of stamping, don't we? Okay, the yellow and the blue look so great together. Honestly, I was going to add gold, but I don't think it needs it because there's gold on there. Oh, we'll leave it. We'll leave it right there. Okay, so this is our new ephemera. So much fun. And our pre-made cards and envelopes. These will be available all year. Try to show you that template again. So this one right here, you can see I kind of put the pieces in the same place. Okay, and now if you study this and study the samples like I do, you'll see that like this little tag right here is this one right here. And if you turn the page, there's all kinds of samples. This card right here is this template right here. This card right here with the XOXO, that one is this right here. This little one right here is, where did I see that one? It's actually like the one I just did, but on a smaller scale. That's what it's the same thing. I got your main one, two little. Okay, so it's really cool how they've used these on the samples, so you can really get some ideas. Now the cool thing also is that the ephemera packs that were offered brand new in the last year's catalog, they're all still available currently. They might be put on the last chance list at some point in the next year, but for right now, all the ephemera packs that have ever been offered are still currently available. These that are in the catalog here, these are obviously going to be carried for a whole nother year. And so if you really loved this Greetings ephemera pack and this one Fully Flowering, they're still available. These are $7 too, $7 or $8, but this is the real value here because these actually have adhesive on the back. These are $7, so definitely need to get those if you like ephemera. Here are scrapbook templates. Okay, so you have lots of resources here to use for creating pages. Okay, so quick and easy. For memory keeping is the pocket way to do your photo, make your little photo albums. This is a smaller 6x8 album, and there are packages of Memories and More card packs that will easily make pocket page scrapbooks, or you can use them for card making. So this is the Celebration Expressions. You get a bunch of each design, I think 6 of each, and then they're two-sided, so you can use them. These can just be plopped on top of a larger card, like these, okay? So it fits perfectly on that larger size card if you want to use them for card making. And then here are the smaller ones. two-sided. So we got to make a couple cards with these when we were at our demonstrator event in March. And so this is one of the cards that we made with 2 of the Memories and More cards, and we tore and we stamped. Turned out really nice and easy. And then here's the little mini card that you can get with cards and envelopes. Just a cute little thank you. Who doesn't need a bunch of those hanging around? This is the Memories and More cards and envelopes. The new thing on this page is the journaling pens. So you get a pack of 3 for $10. And so they have a little pointy tip there. It says they're smudge proof, fast drying, acid free. I can't wait to try them. Okay, quick and easy, especially for the beginner, sometimes means trying Stampin' Spots because you don't have a lot to invest all at once when you're starting card making. And so it's really nice to be able to have kind of an assorted pack of colors with just a small little Stampin' Spot. And so this particular grouping, it's Classic Assortment 1, has Garden Green, Real Red, Early Espresso, Petal Pink, and the new Cloud Cover. And this is kind of good to know because the regular size pad for Cloud Cover is not going to exist. The ink is reacting with the foam in the larger ink pad style, and and when it reacts, it kind of changes the color. And so Stampin' Up! Wasn't happy with that color change, and so they pulled that ink pad. And so if you want to have Cloud Cover as an ink color, the way around that for this year is to buy this assorted pack. So you can get a small one, or you can create your own with an uninked Stampin' Spot. So you can get a pack of 5, and it comes blank. So I've already added ink to mine. That's why it's got color on it, but it comes with a white felt pad, and then you get the Cloud Cover re-inker, and you make your own, and then you have a Cloud Cover ink pad. So I wrote the number here for the uninked Stampin' Spots because it's only online. So if you're interested in that, write down number 141822. It's $10 for 5. I love the ideas on this page to use with Stampin' Spots. And of course, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber or you get kits, you get a Stampin' Spot in those all-inclusive kits and with every Paper Pumpkin. And so you can really build up a collection of colors really fast with having these Stampin' Spots. I love to travel with my Stampin' Spots when if I'm going away and I'm going to be someplace where I can actually do some crafting. I try to color coordinate what I'm going to work on, and I bring these small spots when I am traveling. But they also have a lot of other uses as well, including being able to ink a smaller image that you want to put a couple colors on, making backgrounds. They're really great to use with a stamp positioning tool. It's easier to ink those types of things. Okay, so we're still in the quick and easy section, but since we just talked about colors, let's jump back to page 137. And let's talk about Stampin' Up's color collections. Because this is really the best part about, in my opinion, Stampin' Up, is that they have coordinating colors throughout their ink, cardstock, designer series paper, ribbons, markers. It all coordinates, so it just makes crafting so easy. And so on this first page, you're going to find the basics that like black and white. This is mostly the cardstock. that you're looking for. So this is one you might want to highlight, although I put a lot of these things on that quick list that you might have and put in the back of your catalog. If you want to write down some numbers to help you with pricing your cards out, you get, when you buy a single pack color of cardstock, you get 24 sheets of the same color, and it's $14 a pack, and so that makes each sheet 58 cents. And if you cut that in half one way or the other to make 2 cards, your cards are costing you $30. The card stock for the card base is costing you $30. Obviously, you add some other things to that. I circled this box and highlighted it to remind you that cardstock 24 sheets is $14. Okay, but then I highlighted this box too, because for every color family, you can get an assorted package of cardstock. And so this is great for the beginner, or as you're building your collection, you want more and more colors. You can't buy individual $14 packs of all the colors until you know for sure, like, I'm going to use this color all the time, and you want to build up your collection that way. And so getting them by the assorted cardstock packs is the way to go. The price is a little bit higher per sheet because you get 20 sheets for $14. So it costs a little more to get an assorted pack, but it's a really great option. So on this particular page, we're just looking at the in-color collections. They always introduce 5 new in-colors every year, and then they stick around for 2 years. And so this was last year's new one, sticking around for another year. These are the brand new 5 colors for this year. You want to go ahead and cross off the ink pad for cloud cover, because that is not available. And never will be, unfortunately. But page 33, I referenced, we were just there. That's where the Stampin' Spot is. Now, something that's not listed here and is only online are all the marker sets for the color collections. And so you can get a set of all 5 of these markers, just our regular Stampin' Write markers. And it comes together in a little case, and it's $17.50. And so I wrote those numbers here, and I'm just going to hold it up so that you can read those numbers if you want to jot that down. Just pause the video. Okay, if you like to collect the markers, it just makes it easier for me if it's actually in the catalog. Let's flip to the next page so we can see all the rest of the main color families. These color families are pretty steady. We keep these colors for several years. Occasionally they get updated and some colors move in and out, but these are pretty solid right now. We just did a refresh a couple years ago. And so I just kind of highlighted in here for myself, because what this is telling you is that you can either order the subtles individually or buy a bundled collection. Okay, so for Petal Pink cardstock, you can get that full pack of cardstock. You can get a full ink pad. You can get a refill. You can get Stampin' Blends, which are the alcohol ink markers, or you can get a package of 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. Okay, so all of that you can get just for one color. But let's say you wanted all of these colors, you could get an assorted pack. You would get 2 sheets of each color, 20 sheets for $14. There's also a package of 6x6 designer series paper that that coordinates with all these colors. You would get 4 sheets of the designs for each color. You can order all the ink pads if you want to go for it and get all of the 10 ink pads. You can order them all at once, and you actually save 10% on that. And then you could order all the ink refills at once. It just saves you the time of putting in each individual number. If you have all the ink pads, you also save 10%. So I highlighted those things so you don't forget. And then I wrote in the number for the marker set if you wanted to get the marker set. Okay, and I've done that for all of the color families I've written in the markers. But just don't forget those are online. Now, if you want to put something on your wish list, right, you have a birthday or Christmas, you can actually get all 4 color families. You can get 40 markers. You save 10% by doing it that way, but it's a large amount, so that would be a nice gift for someone to give you. So that is also online. It's 163136, and you save 10% when you buy them like that. Okay, so just so you can see in real life, if we go back to Petal Pink, here's the ink pad, here's the ink refill, here's the marker, but you can't buy it by itself. You have to buy it as a color family. And then here are the Stampin' Blend markers. Okay, so these are alcohol markers. This is a water-based marker, depending on how you want to color. It has a brush tip and then a bullet tip. Let's go back here and look at these new in colors. So we have Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Cloud Cover, and Secret Sea. So this is the cardstock here. This is the ink. Here's the 6x6 paper that you can get. There's 4 pattern designs. So these are real nice kind of generic patterns that you can use over and over and over again. They just add a little nice coordination. Okay, love the new in colors. Okay, let's go back. We're on page 38 now, so we left off here. Oops, hold on. So we were talking about the Stampin' Spots, and then kind of things that are great for beginners or just make super easy cards are some of these greeting stamp sets that are in these next few pages under Quick and Easy. Already in love with this greeting set, but I think this is a brilliant idea with this nice big congrats for graduation cards, and then you've got the school colors here. How easy would it be to just make up a bunch of those little note cards? I love, love, love this idea. And then again, here are some basic stamp sets. These are all returning favorites that were in last year's book that are still great for all occasion stamping, making basic cards. Look, here's another ephemera example right here. These are new circle images that coordinate with our new 1 7/8 circle punch. This is a fun little, just a nice little, like a bingo where you can kind of see like, what kind of crafter are you? Do you have all these things? What do you keep in your stamp room? What do you keep in your to-go bag if you go with, and you go stamp with other people? Do you keep a comb and lipstick? Do you keep your color wheel? Do you bring embellishments and some candy along? This is just for fun, but I think it's really sweet. Okay, speaking of sweets, that's our next section. So far I have labeled ephemera and workshop kits. Okay, and the next label that I have is called sweets. And I just wanted, if you're brand new and you're like half of the words I'm saying sound like made up words that don't make sense, that's okay. But I will explain that a suite of products are just products designed to go together. And it makes it easier because you can order the whole suite with one ordering number instead of ordering each individual item. But included in a suite is always a bundle, and a bundle is a stamp set and either a punch or dies, usually. Sometimes we get a hybrid embossing folder in a bundle. We actually have a bundle in here that is 2 die sets. That's the first time that's happened. But there's always a bundle in a suite. There's always designer series paper. There's always some kind of embellishment, usually, or there's an embossing folder. So it's kind of usually at least 4 things that are in a suite. And so we have 5 brand new suites that are in this catalog, but I made this list because right now currently online, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 other suites that are available. Okay, we talked about the celebratory sips. That's a brand new suite of products that was released in March. Floral Impressions, Lovely Garden, those were all, and there's going to be more coming, every quarter. So don't think that this is all that is available. You have to go online and flip through the suites as well. So we're back to this. We looked at this a little bit. Our Florals in Bloom suite, which coordinates with that workshop kit, right? And also has extra scrapbook elements. There are so many beautiful samples on these pages. This particular suite has 2 bundles, so stamp set dies, has designer series paper and the embellishments that are in color. So this is a great one if you're interested in getting a small collection of colors, you want to try out these in colors. This designer series paper coordinates with it. So I noted on here to make it helpful for me, I want to go see the workshop kit, page 15. The DSP and sticker is on page 67. And then of course, if you bought the whole suite, that number is right here. Okay? You can get it in English or French. Here are the pieces individually. So if you just want this bundle and this paper, then you look down here. There's 6 things technically you can get, because you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you just want these dies, you can get those dies by itself. Anytime you buy a bundle, though, you save 10%. So same, the bundle, you get that 10% if you get the suite that's already included in that price. So that's kind of what a bundle and a suite of products is. I have some samples with things made from this suite. So it's really fun to just stamp and cut out these flowers. It's very easy to use. Here's the words. Beautiful designer series paper. You can just stamp them. You don't even have to cut them out. They're so easy to stamp. You can just make cardstock flowers. Or you can stamp the flowers. It's really versatile. Really, really a fun suite. Okay, that's suite number 1. And I love that it's showing you how the paper was developed with the watercolor artist. And then there's lots of ideas showing you how to use the dies, showing you how to make the paper flowers, how to cut out the stamped images for the flowers. So really pay attention if you just kind of take your time to look at it. It's really helpful. Second suite is Turtley Cute. Here are the colors in that suite. So if you want the whole thing, it's here. Here's the individual pieces here. And since I showed you the designer series paper for the first one, what's it called? Florals in Bloom. I'm going to show you all the new designer series papers. This is Turtley Sweet. It's got turtles doing different things: picnicking, gardening, grilling, birthdaying, musicking. If those are words. And then there's these little scenes you can cut out, and then you can cut out the turtles and put them into the scenes. And then the flip sides are all nice coordinating patterns to use. So the paper is great. Really, I'm enjoying the paper. We have some double-sided ribbon that goes with the suite, and then these little hexagon, they're like clear colored little hexagon embellishments to mimic a turtle shell. And so here's a couple little cards with the Turtley Suite. Fun. It's not my favorite suite, but I am using the paper and enjoying it. All right. See the little scenes here? That's so cute. Okay, then we're come to the beautiful gallery suite. So let me just show you. For example, so this suite has this suite also has 2 bundles, stamp set and die bundles. This suite has 6x6 designer series paper. And these are beautiful prints and like oil painting. And then patterns on the back side. So 2 stamp and die bundles and some embellishments. These are little metallic printed flower press printed embellishments, and this beautiful lightweight beige ribbon, very easy to use. So this suite has a real artistic feel to it, and the damask embossing folder. Okay, so this has a few more elements to it. Let me show you some samples with some of the things in this suite. There's the embossing folder with the embellishments. There's the little frame die. It's that little window so cute. It's a very artistic type of bundle, but it's also easy to use. I'm finding it very, very enjoyable. Okay, beautiful gallery, lovely. Now, one of the resources that I posted on my website that you can go and download is from Stampin' Up, and it's called the Annual Catalog Sample Recipes. Now, I'm not sure why this printed black, it's white, but sometimes the printer does things like this. And it's more than one page. I didn't print because I would never print it. I think it's like 92 pages or something like that. But it's great if you are good at looking at PDFs and you want to save it to your computer. It goes page by page through the samples, in this entire book, and it tells you what is being used for that sample. And so I just printed out one page with this suite so that I could kind of show you how it works. And so I love that we're getting so many ideas to use the different pieces. And so you really have to, make your eyes focus on them individually. Sometimes it's almost better to just take some paper and cover up everything else on the page and just look at one thing at a time, and then just really study it and take it apart. But if you also have this as a reference, then it makes it kind of fun. And so I printed out ones that were on this page because I was really interested in how they made it square. Okay, so here's the information you get. So it tells you the page number it's on, tells you the card, what the size of the base is, standard A2. And then it tells you the things that were used in that. And then sometimes, not always, they'll give you a tip. So this says cut out 3 die cut frames and layer, then cut down a piece of ribbon for the hanger. Okay, so this is like something you could actually hang on the wall, and they're telling you that they cut out 3 frames to make it sturdy, and then they cut that beige ribbon in half to make a narrower ribbon. But I love just this page alone has all of these ideas for how to use the frames. And then for this one right here, this square one, it says that you cut 1 frame, you layer the pieces, cut the corners to miter them, and then you cut a second frame to use as the backing. And so that's how you can kind of get the square. So this is a helpful resource as well. And I forgot to mention when we were talking about all the color families, this is a new color inventory for 2025, 2026. This is on my website as well. And so you can kind of make a checklist for yourself and keep it somewhere by your computer or in your catalog, whatever is easiest for you. But you can check off what you have for each color. Do I have the cardstock? Do I have the ink pad? Do I need a refill? Do I need the marker? And so that way you can just keep track of what you have. So it's kind of fun if you have a new one every year, like I've been making these every year for my customers. It's kind of nice to go back and look at your stash at least once a year, and you can kind of see what exactly you have. And then sometimes it also, encourages you like, oh, I still need to use that, and you can kind of move it to the front of your Stampin' stash that you get to use. And then this is the Kintsugi technique in a suite. And so that paper is beautiful as well. Colors have basic beige, misty moonlight, cloud cover, gold. Okay, so this is a technique in Japanese art where something cracks in pottery, then you can put it back together and fill it in with gold. And so this is mimicking that type of art. Okay, so this is the gold foiled side, and then the other side has beautiful blues. This is misty moonlight, cloud cover, and petal pink. Beautiful patterns. And there's a fun embossing folder and some beautiful gold little flower accents. I love the tips, how you can use those things in the suite in a different way. Here is the little description of what this technique is. And then the last suite is Boho Vibes, last but not least. And this suite has a bundle and paper and embellishments. And this is definitely just this really soft, subtle. I love the colors together. Really pretty. Petal Pink, Mossy Meadow, Cloud Cover, Daffodil Delight, Secret Sea. Oops, that is not right. Well, here are the embellishments. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of the papers, but you get the idea of all the designs. Even though some of them are bold, I've just seen some really great samples. I think they're going to be fun to use. Here's the one I've made so far. This just came to me, this Sweet and Bundle. Can't wait to use these. I think this would make actually just beautiful cards for any occasion, but also it kind of screams baby cards to me, maybe. Okay, so we're done with the sweets, and now we're back to that section that is scrapbooking, like by parts. Okay, so we've already kind of talked about that, the new parts that are just scrapbooking. Well, here's celebratory sips. Now okay, so you can get some of this in the catalog. Oh, that's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, make some notes on this page. If you want to go back to the workshop kit, that was page 21. The suite is online though. Okay, it does say that, but I made it bold. The suite of products is online for $78.75. If you just want the DSP, you have to go online, and it's $165,586. If you just want the designer series paper, but you can also get it with the sticker sheet. And then here's our weekend adventures. And then this is all new. We have something new to us in Stampin' Up called Flip Flaps. And they have 4 sizes, but different variations. And what this is a way, as you see on this picture, to add layers onto a scrapbook page. So let's say you want to have journaling underneath something, or you want to have a picture with journaling underneath, or you just want to layer a bunch of things that kind of have movement together. You can add these flip-flops to your, did I say flip-flops? Flip-flaps to your stuff. And so this one holds 4x6, and you can have it flip this way, or you can have it flip this way. And then there's size for 3x4. Okay, same thing, 2 orientation. So these, of course, fit our Memories and More cards. Then there's a 3x3 and a 4x4. And so you don't need 2 different orientations because it's a square. So that's really cool. I haven't played with those yet on a scrapbook page, but I did get this card from one of my friends, and she made a little layered picture inside a card for me. So that's one way you can use it in your card making and for mini albums and all kinds of things. So much fun. I want you to make a note here. We have 2 brand new albums that you can purchase for 12x12 pages. 2 versions. One is a D-ring 12x12, and then one is a post-bound album for 12x12. There's 2 versions of page protectors. And so I just highlighted this in yellow to help me remember, but you can get top loading page protectors. That works with both albums. And then you can get side loading page protectors, which it doesn't specifically say, but since there's 2 holes here, I'm thinking that it was probably designed for the post. Yes, for the post, the side strap post album, but I haven't ordered them yet, so I'm not going to say for sure, but that's what I'm thinking. That makes the most sense. So whichever version you like better is what you can do. I did get the D-ring album And it's really nice. It's nice and heavy, well made. It comes with this little protector on the inside, but it's really nice if you keep this little box, because let's say you're putting your album together, making pages, you can kind of keep supplies and stuff inside. It fits your 12 by 12 thing. So let's say if you kind of have a little project going and you want to just keep things together, it's kind of a nice way to store your stuff temporarily while you're working on it. And then this won't even fit on the camera, but the nice box that it came in, this is, you just won't get to see all of it, but this is the box that the album came in, which is ready to give as a gift. Let's say you want to wrap this up and you make an album for somebody, or this is great storage, a great storage box as well, for anything that is 12 by 12 or larger. Okay, so we're back to the two-tone cardstock, and what I forgot to tell you, I took these off so we could see the two-tone, but what I've done is I just wrote down the numbers, pages, and the names of the assorted packs of two-tone cardstock that you can get currently. Okay, these are the 4 that are in this book. Okay, so again, I'm pointing this out because let's say you want to get some two-tone cardstock to play with, you know, and you obviously you can't get every pack right now. There's 4 in this catalog assorted packs, so you could get a nice starting collection of two-tone cardstocks. There's also 4 in the online store right now, and these are older kits, but so that's 8. And there is a little overlap with colors, but not a lot. So you could get these assorted packs, and then you would have lots of these colors. I will be offering the month of June, I believe, a product share where you can get a sheet of each of these. So if you're on my email list, you'll get that information. But just remember, make a note to look for the assorted packs online. Okay, so now we come to our bundles. So these are the new bundles and stamp sets. And so this is, you know, the meaty section of the catalog. And I'm not going to go through every bundle, but these are the new things that are being offered. There's the new punch. The washi tape is brand new with the Extraordinary Flora die and stamp set. So I think this page does a really good job of explaining it, but sometimes you need to see it. But the stamp set stamps this large piece, this large floral piece, all as one. And then there's a couple little greetings and then this like little background stamp. And then the die set cuts all of these out at one time. So if you like to make little focal points, these sweet little flowers are going to be really fun. I can't wait to use them. But then there's also, you can add on this washi tape, which has the same designs. In the same configuration as the stamp set and the die. So you can cut out the washi tape as well. And so you have choices. You can put this onto paper to cut out. You could put it onto vellum and cut it out. or you could just use it as beautiful washi tape, but there's two color versions. You have this kind of purple and pink and kind of a turquoisey blue-green, and then we have this warm pink and warm green version. So there's every other one is the other color. So that's kind of something new to play with, especially if you like washi tape. That's going to be a lot of fun. So this is something really new and interesting to try. And then we have, this is the die and die bundle I was telling you about. We have these party banners. Here's the largest banner. Okay, so you can really, here's my hand, it's big. You can make a lot of fun banners with these. I just saw a video, somebody had made the pages of a mini album with these, and it was a really cool flip book. But there's 20 dies here, including these little ones. So there's 14 actual banners in different sizes. And then there's this really large alphabet set called Party Alphabet, which is designed to go on the banners, as you can see in the picture. And so these are the size of those letters. Great for scrapbooking, great for home decor. It's going to be fun with our cards, boxes, and all of that good stuff. So that is something very new and exciting as well. And look at these sweet boxes. Just love it. Okay, and then we get into stamp sets, new stamp sets. Can't wait to play with all of these. Okay, and then I put my next tab is called Returning Favorites. So these are all things that have been offered before that are carrying over. That's why they're shown extra small here, because we've seen them before. We kind of know what we can do with them, but they're still available if you didn't get them around the first time. Then the next section is tools. I labeled tools. This is where you'll find the paper cutter, take your pick tool, bone folder, scissors, all of that good stuff. We have a punch page showing all the punches available in the catalog. Now there are other punches online, so don't forget to always check online to see if there's 2 other circle punches online for sure. This is showing all the alphabets, including the one I just showed you, and showing the different size. These are dies, and then these are some shape dies that have carried over. We have our embossing folder page on 109. Okay, I didn't label this one, but if you have blocks on your wish list and you are getting those, you might want to label this page or where the cleaners are. I've labeled this page because I go to it a lot to look up adhesives. There are not any new adhesives into this catalog, but I really like the code here. So depending on what project you are doing, there's a little icon to help tell you what you should use. So for example, 3D projects is like this little box. And so if you look, you need something heavy duty like Seal Plus, I guess. And here we go, Tear Tape. Those are the ones that are great for like boxes. I think that's really helpful. Okay, then we come to where all the designer series paper and basic specialty papers are. Nothing new here. Specialty papers and regular designer series paper have different price points, and so I also just wrote down how much those things would cost per sheet. So I'm just going to hold that up if you want to freeze your camera and just write those things down. It's just helpful information if you're going to make card bases out of designer series paper, so you would know how much how much that is adding up to. Okay, so again, I marked the new ones and I wrote the suite page by it so you can go back and find the suite. So the Kinzuki Inspirations, see the suite on 59. Florals in Bloom, the suite is on page 42, 43. Turtley Suite is on page 49. Beautiful Gallery is on page 54. And the Boho Vibes, the suite is on page 62. All the rest of these designer series papers have been in past catalogs. And so it is so great that we get to keep using these papers because I was not done with a lot of them yet. So that's really exciting to have that opportunity. Here are all the 6x6 that match the color families. We talked about that. So if you want to get the new in colors and you want the little designer series papers that I showed you, here's where you grab those. Let's say you wanted the subtles and you just want some papers that match all those colors. That's where you would get those. I marked envelopes because I'm always looking for the envelopes. I marked embellishments. Again, no explanation needed. I got to see what those are. Got some new ones, so see where the N is so you can see which ones are new. Marked ribbons. All the things with little extras you put on the card. I didn't mark this page, but this is like the extra things that you do to kind of blend color, I guess. We have our daubers, the blender pen, brayer, masks, blending brushes, and then the different neutral tones for our for our Stampin' blends. You can get those tones that are great for like animals and people and things like that. So I wrote down watercolor pencils are on page 133 if you were thinking about using those with the blender pen. And I also wrote down, because these masks are here, we still sell the embossing paste and the palette knives. Those are online. And so I wrote those numbers down as well. It does say that, but I just went ahead and wrote the numbers down. I love this ink page. This is really helpful. A lot of times it's hard to know which ink am I supposed to use for what project. And so this really breaks down what to use. So here, for example, is the StazOn. You see how they stamped that Extraordinary Flora stamp here. And then they watercolored it. And so you need to use the StazOn. So again, there's these really helpful icons to help you know what to use with kind of these basic inks. So I labeled that Ink Basics. And then these are things for either embossing or just kind of a little bit more of coloring. So I highlighted these are the things that are actually being, sold on this page, like the watercolor pencils, the Wink of Stella, and then the embossing powder, which you see it here, but it's kind of hard to know, like, what are they selling? I cross-referenced the Versamark ink pad is on page 131. The heat tool is on page 102. So if you're thinking about the embossing powder, you're going to need those things too. They go together. Blender pens you're going to need if you're going to get the watercolor pencils. So blender pens are on page 128. I love this page. I think this is so great. What is the energy that you want to bring to your project? Think about your colors. So we're thinking about sending cards for different occasions, and you pick colors randomly maybe sometimes, or you pick colors based on the designer series paper that you have. But if you take the time to kind of really look at this page and think about the color, for example, orange is energetic. It's eager, excited, optimistic. So it's different from green, which is kind of a calmer like color. So I just think it's really interesting. You kind of tie that in with the color wheel. You can, give yourself a second layer of meaning with your card by having your color kind of give a certain energy to it. And then we're back to the colors. Lastly, we've got Paper Pumpkin. I wrote down the subscription prices here on my book, but that's all online. Paper Pumpkin is a great way to build your collection because you get a stamp set and an ink pad every month in addition to the projects. And there are so many amazing ideas out there for different ways to use your kit. So you can use it as is, or you can get real creative with it. So it's kind of fun. You can pick and choose the months you get by simply adjusting your subscription. And so you do earn rewards on your kit too. So even if you have a pay-as-you-go subscription every month, you get $2 in rewards every month just for having your Paper Pumpkin subscription. And then we're done. We're back to the end. We did it. Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk through this book page by page and kind of get to know it a little bit better and think about what you might want to add to your collection based on what you need and what you like. And hopefully you will see some ways to make the catalog more useful for you, make it a tool and not just something you flip through randomly. Thank you so much. Reminder, all those resources I talked about are on my website, and there's a link in the description box that'll take you straight there. If you watch this and you don't have a catalog and you would like me to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, there's also a registration link that you can sign up to for me to mail you a catalog. I'd be happy to do that. Thank you so much and happy creating.